Picture sinking every penny you've saved into reviving your dream home, only to return a week later and find strangers settled in, claiming the HOA handed it to them. When Roland Pierce drove up the winding dirt path to his mountain retreat, he anticipated the quiet serenity that had captured his heart. Instead, he spotted smoke, not haze, not vapor, smoke drifting from the chimney of the house he hadn't yet called home. He sat frozen in his truck, engine humming, staring at the faint trail rising into the pale afternoon light. His keys clinked as he gripped the steering wheel tighter, his mind racing. That fireplace. He'd crafted it with his own hands just weeks ago. Something was off. The gate he'd installed, secured with a shiny new latch, was locked tight, from the inside. That gate had only ever been locked from his side. Roland stepped out, boots grinding against the gravel, the crisp air heavy with pine and damp earth, a scent that usually grounded him. Everything looked familiar, the rocky path, the slope to the creek, except for one thing, a silver SUV parked by his shed, a vehicle he didn't know. No one should have been here. He'd left for Charlotte a week earlier after finishing the last touches, polished floors, fresh paint, new cabinets, planning to bring his wife and son up next weekend for their first real stay. He'd even left a bottle of champagne on the counter for the occasion. Now, that celebration felt like a distant dream. Roland climbed over the gate and approached the house cautiously, phone in hand but not yet recording. The curtains he'd chosen were closed, the welcome mat replaced with something flowery and unfamiliar. "Hello," he called. No response, just the faint hum of a TV inside. He took another step toward the porch, then froze when he saw a pair of muddy, worn boots on the top step, definitely not his. "Hello," he shouted again, louder. The front door cracked open, and a woman's voice came through. "Can I help you?" Roland blinked, caught off guard. She was in her 50s, with short blonde hair and the confident air of someone who thrives at HOA meetings. "I'm sorry," Roland said, "who are you?" "I live here," she replied, as if it were the most obvious thing. "Who are you?" He tilted his head, struggling to process her words. "You live here?" "Yes," she said, arms crossed. "This property was reassigned by the Homeowners Association. We've been trying to contact the owner for weeks." Roland's brow furrowed. "I am the owner." She paused, but only briefly. "No, sir," she said, her tone sharp. "The previous deed holder abandoned this property. It's under temporary management until ownership is verified." Roland let out a short, incredulous laugh. "Ma'am, I just finished renovating this house. You're standing on my porch, telling me you live here." Before she could respond, a man appeared behind her, tall, heavy-set, baseball cap low. He looked uneasy, like he knew this was wrong but lacked the courage to admit it. "Colleen, maybe we should." "No, Harold," she snapped, cutting him off. "We're not doing this again. He's trespassing." Roland stepped back. "Trespassing on my own property." He raised his phone, hitting record. "Can you say that again for me?" Her eyes narrowed. "Record all you want, but until the HOA sorts this out, you can't be here. You need to leave." Roland gestured toward his truck. "My tools are in that shed. My paperwork's inside. My name's on the deed. I have the sale documents in my glove box." But she wasn't listening. She turned, calling into the house, "Harold, shut the door." And he did. Roland stood there, stunned, watching the door he'd sanded, stained, and sealed a month ago close in his face. His pulse pounded in his throat, the nerve of it all, strangers claiming his home, treating him like the outsider. He called the sheriff's office, explaining as calmly as he could to the dispatcher. "A deputy will come by," the woman said. "Stay outside for now, sir." So he waited, the air growing colder, hearing muffled laughter from inside, the clink of plates, the sound of a faucet. They were living comfortably in his house. Roland gazed at the mountain ridge fading into the dusk, wondering how this could even happen. He'd worked grueling 16-hour days restoring that place, scrubbing mold, hauling out rotted wood, rewiring the entire system. It wasn't just a house, it was evidence that hard work still mattered. But now, watching strangers settle in like they belonged, something in him hardened. He didn't know it yet, but this was only the start, the quiet before everything unraveled. The deputy's SUV arrived nearly 40 minutes later, headlights slicing through the dimming light. Roland waved it down before it stopped. Deputy Conrad, a middle-aged man with a salt-and-pepper mustache and a weary expression, stepped out, glancing around. "What's the issue here, sir?" he asked, hand on his belt. Roland pointed to the house. "There's a family living in my home. I just got back from Charlotte today. That's my property, I have the title, the paperwork, everything." The deputy squinted at the house. The curtains twitched, someone was watching. "All right," Conrad said, "let's talk to them." They approached the porch, and before he could knock, the door opened. Colleen Densmore stood there, lips tight, eyes sharp, her teenage son behind her in a hoodie with a private school logo. "Evening, ma'am," the deputy said politely. "I'm responding to a property dispute." Colleen nodded, standing taller. "Yes, officer, thank you. This man's been harassing us, claiming ownership of a home under association management." Roland blinked. "Harassing you? I just got here." Colleen ignored him, addressing the deputy. "We've contacted the HOA. They assured us the deed was inactive. We moved in to maintain the property before it became a problem." Roland stepped forward. "I've been renovating this house for months. Check the county records, my name's Roland Pierce, closed on April 14th this year." Deputy Conrad looked between them, clearly uncomfortable. "All right, let's slow down. Do either of you have documentation?" Roland retrieved a folder from his truck's glove box, handing it over. "Here, bill of sale, deed, tax receipt." The deputy skimmed the papers. "These look legitimate." Colleen's arms stayed crossed. "That doesn't mean anything until the HOA verifies it. There are pending liens from before he bought it. We were told to oversee the property until it's resolved." "By who?" Roland asked. "You keep saying we, but I haven't seen a single official document." "By the board," she said, as if that ended it. Roland exhaled slowly. "Lady, there's no board for this parcel. This land's outside your subdivision." Her husband appeared again, holding coffee, eyes down. "Maybe we should let him, not now, Harold," she cut in sharply. The deputy sighed. "Here's the deal," he said. "I can't remove anyone without a court order. This is a civil matter. Mr. Pierce, contact the county magistrate Monday." Roland stared. "You're saying they can stay here until then?" "I'm saying I can't remove them tonight. File a claim in the morning." Colleen's lips curved faintly. "See. There's a process, Mr. Pierce. I suggest you follow it." Roland turned to her, disbelief carved into his face. "You broke into my house, changed my locks, you're cooking in my kitchen, that's not a dispute, that's breaking and entering." The deputy gave a tired look, like he'd seen too many fights to pick a side. Colleen shrugged. "We didn't break in. The door was unlocked." Roland's jaw clenched. "Because I hadn't finished installing the deadbolt yet." The deputy closed his notebook. "I'll file a report. Both of you will get copies. Let the court handle it." As the patrol car drove off, the weight of it hit Roland like a stone. He stood at the driveway's end, watching taillights fade, the ground beneath him feeling unsteady. He called his wife, Marlene, in Charlotte. "You're not going to believe this," he said, voice low. "There's a family living in our house." "What?" she asked, pacing audible through the phone. "Like squatting." "Worse," he said. "They think they have the right to be here." The deputy wouldn't make them leave. "Call a lawyer tonight," she urged. "Don't stay there alone." "I'm not leaving," he said. "Not until I figure this out." He hung up, sitting on his truck's tailgate as the sky turned from blue to gray. Shadows moved inside the house, silhouettes crossing the windows, the TV's flicker, faint laughter. It was his house, but it didn't feel like it. He opened his phone's camera. "This is day one," he said softly into the lens. "I'm documenting everything." Behind him, the mountains stood silent, witnesses to a situation that defied reason. Roland knew one thing: this wasn't ending tonight. Tomorrow, he'd ensure the right people saw what was happening, and the truth would start catching up to those inside his home.